Well, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and this is a case of the latter. So normally I don't buy camcorders that I see at the thrift store that don't come with chargers or batteries or any way to test them, and they're most always broken in one way or the other, and such is unfortunately the case with this Sony MiniDV Handycam, a digital Handycam. This is the Sony DCR-TRV22. I believe that there was also a model above this camcorder, which was the DCR-TRV23, and this was sitting off on its own, actually not where this store typically sells cameras, camcorders, and stuff like that, high-priced items, which they usually have set to the side, actually on a counter by the registers. So this didn't come with a battery or a charger or anything like that, and it didn't look like it was messed up or broken. There was no obvious damage to it, like somebody had dropped it or abused it in a previous life. And you turn it on and it says clock set, everything looks okay, and then everything seems like it's okay until it isn't. And then it's got this error code E6110. Now it's got a C3210 code, and the battery evidently is going dead, and the screen is totally black, even though there's no lens cap. So something is very wrong with this camera, and maybe I should have looked closer at it, especially at this area where the viewfinder is. You see all this mashed up rubber here. That tells me probably that somebody did drop this and it ended up falling on that. I can still use this to transfer videos to the computer as a digital capture card of sorts. And because everybody loves these camcorders and handycams in general on my channel, figured I still have it. I might as well give an overview of it because, again, everybody loves handycams. There's a backlight button as well as the button which will turn on and off the on-screen display. And if you press and hold that, it'll actually show you your battery info and your remaining charge. In this case, this battery somehow has like no charge left, even though when I pressed this button before recording, this meter on the back was full. So you've got your speaker and what almost looks to me like a door for a battery backup. In fact, we are actually going to get to the bottom of this live on camera and determine what exactly hides behind that door. And here we go, live on camera, figuring out what is behind this door. That's actually the smallest backup battery I've ever seen on a Sony Handycam. It does say that it's rechargeable, so I'm assuming this is one of the newer style batteries that gets its power and charges itself from the main battery, but they must have planned for it to fail, so they provide provisions here for replacing the battery. And there's an S-video jack on the front, and your stereo microphone, which is actually offset from center in relation to the lens, so whenever you're looking directly at the camera, the audio is going to be biased toward the left side, and behind this smoked piece of plastic is the infrared emitter, as well as your IR receiver for the remote. But these cameras definitely didn't do that well in low light. You can see just how small the lens is, so it's no wonder that it performs so poorly. And then over here is the LANC jack for use with Sony accessories, like a tripod that they would sell that had controls integrated into the handle, which YouTube user V Westlife actually did a video of a while ago. Power switches over here for switching between VCR, camera, and memory mode. And then there's a memory eject little switch here, I guess to eject your memory sticks from the slot for taking still photos. And then behind this door you get a USB jack, MiniDV, and the customary 3.5mm AV input and output jack. And over on the top you get a photo button, which does have two stages for pre-focusing a picture and then actually capturing the picture, your zoom lever, night shot off and on switch, and your accessory shoe. which actually is a hot shoe. Sony called this the Intelligent Accessory shoe, for which there are several accessories like microphones and camcorder lights. This does have a color viewfinder, which is a nice feature to have. I doubt this will be able to focus. Oh, it actually is. You could see that the viewfinder was definitely not black and white. There's a reset button over there in case everything decides to go topsy-turvy and you need to reset the camcorder. And this is where things really go wrong. So if I go to eject the tape now, nothing happens. And you might probably be able to see the top part of this basket looks like it's bent outward. And this is definitely not supposed to happen. I can just use my hand to eject the tape mechanism. And you can see all those loose parts just kind of flapping around in there by the tape drum. So I think what happened is somebody's tape probably got stuck in here and they wanted to get it out before they donated this, so they just yanked out the mechanism by force and ended up breaking everything in it. It's kind of interesting wondering what came first, the chicken or the egg. In this case, all these errors and the dead image sensor that these model MiniDV camcorders are actually quite well known for, or the tape mechanism failure. But this does have touchscreen, so if you click function, you get this older style touchscreen menu, and then you also get digital effects, super night shot, color slow shutter, self timer, LCD brightness, volume. That was the one kind of irksome thing with these touchscreen handycams, is to adjust the volume you'd always have to go to the menu, click volume, and then tap the buttons. There was no physical control to adjust the volume on the fly. But it's kind of funny how little things change throughout the years. If you click menu, then it reverts back to the old school menu that pretty much every Sony Handycam ever used, which in this case lets you go between your program auto exposure. It's a little clunky because they modified it to use the touchscreen instead of the usual jog wheel over here, but it's pretty decent. Go between picture effects, white balance, auto shutter, and then you click return, digital zoom, 16:9, steady shot, edit search, and then here's the cassette memory feature. You can set the title of, I'm assuming, the video you're about to record, erase the title, and then set a title for the tape itself. And then record mode, SP and LP, which is customary, audio mode, 12-bit, 16-bit. Okay, that was a bit weird. Frame recording. I'm kind of wondering what that is, because on the Canon camcorders like the GL1, the GL2, frame recording would record a progressive style video even though it was still interlaced. So I'm wondering if that's what this is. Interval recording, so it'll just start and stop recording. Pretty sure, yeah, you can set the interval at which it records. Alright, well, the battery just went dead, and that's pretty much all there is really to show with this camera, because unfortunately it doesn't work except for one feature, so it's not a total loss. The 3.5mm audio video jack is both an output and an input on this model, and this can act as a capture card of sorts. So if I plug a video source in here, be it a VCR, a DVD player, or even another camera or camcorder, it'll take the video, and as long as I put this into VCR mode, it'll actually convert the video digitally from the AV jack to FireWire and send it out over to my computer. So overall, it's not a total loss considering what I paid for this, which was around $15, which was probably $14 too much for an old broken MiniDV Handycam. But hey, at least I still have a decent capture card, which anybody that knows these Handycams know that they make great video capture devices, because they do have a built-in time-based corrector which helps with very old, video from VCRs and stuff like that, which other capture devices, lesser capture devices such as like an EasyCap, would fall on its face trying to capture and convert. And hey, it still has a blinking red light on the front of it, so that has to count for something.